Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon on this Monday afternoon, April 24. You're watching AMS Live, my name is Boy and we are standing alongside runway 27, which on paper should be open for arrivals together with the Polderbaan. All day runway 27 was the only runway open for arrivals. Now at the moment the Polderbaan is also open, unfortunately. Wind is blowing mostly from the west, so it would make sense that this would be the only runway open for arrivals. 16 knots or so, so it's not full-blown storm, but it is definitely a bit windy. We're awaiting the first traffic to arrive, which, looking at flight radar, is going to be an Embraer 190 inbound from Billund. Don't see it yet visually, but it should become visible shortly. There's more traffic underway at the moment. We'll have to wait and see which traffic will come this way and how long the Polderbaan will remain open for arrivals. Two runways are open for departures at the moment. That's runway 24 and runway 18 left. The weather, as you guys can see, is not great. We've had rain in the morning and it is a bit drizzly at the moment. I'm not set up in full wet configuration, so if there is going to be a bit of rain, and what they are predicting are just a few showers, so a few isolated showers. In that case I might have to take out the umbrella and cover the camera for a little while. Should remain dry most of the time. My camera is already a little bit wet because it started raining just now. Here is the Embraer 190 inbound from Billund. And there is more traffic lining up, although mostly narrow bodies at the moment. In the meantime, good afternoon or good morning to everybody who has already tuned in. Koenie Linux, Henkie, Laura Coyle, Kathleen, Maria, Samuel, good day to you all. Hope you are all doing well. Teun, goedemiddag. Joppie Joppie, goedemorgen or good afternoon. Martin, good day to you. Yorkshire Biker, hi there. Wilma, goedemiddag. Let's see if I can get the camera in focus again. It's a bit unsharp, but there it is.
Ik denk dat ze hebben Atlas hebben ze al een soort van mee. Dan wil ik zeggen, niet zeggen dat wij de sterke kanten, maar het zou moeten verbazen dat het een Atlas is.
Hopefully sound and video quality are okay. It's windy, it is also a bit chilly. 9 degrees centigrade or 10 degrees centigrade, so high 40s to 50 degrees Fahrenheit at the moment. And Wilma asks if I am not cold. Well, I did dress up for the occasion. I have rain trousers on, mostly for additional isolation. I do have gloves with me, should it be necessary, but thus far I'm operating the camera barehandedly because that is much better to do than with gloves on. YouTube, goedemiddag. Michael Painter, good afternoon. Inabe, guten Tag. Herzlich willkommen, Michael Jackson, good day to you. Or should I say good morning. Made it back in one piece, back to Florida, where it's still early. Yorkshire Biker confirming all looks and sounds fine. Happy to hear that. I did hear a few crackles when I was setting up and listening back. So I guess that the wind now is a bit unfavorable for crackling. Hopefully it won't be too distracting today. In the meantime, here is the next airplane to arrive. Good afternoon, Daniel Kovacs. Good to see you. Photo for you. Yeah, there are two other guys also standing here waiting for a 737 that is now underway, an old 737-300. Notice that camera is a little bit shaky. Wind is a bit gusty. Let me see if applying image stabilization will make that a bit smoother. Now I'm happy to say that if you look in the direction of the wind, there are a few holes in the clouds, so hopefully it's going to stay dry now. Camera already got a little bit wet, although not soaking wet, so should be able to deal with that. Tina York, good afternoon, good to see you again. Harry Rouser, good morning, checking in from Ontario, Canada, in Waterloo. Good morning, English Pinglish, good to see you again, hope you're well. Hey there, Wendy, goedemorgen, or good afternoon, I should say. Good to see you again, hope you are doing well.
Bijna iedereen in het vliegtuig zat nog een beetje met spanning en ik zat nog wel met een smile van ja, ik vind het wel leuk. Ja. Ik vind het wel wat hebben. En als het niet goed gaat, dan gaan ze alsnog en dan vliegen ze gewoon weer door. Dat is echt niet de smile dat het goed gaat. En ze horen het niet.
Hey Benjamin, goedemiddag. Checking in from Hamburg. How's the weather over there in Hamburg? Is it the same as here? Cold, windy, bit rainy. Hopefully it's better than this. Hey there Marius, goedemiddag. Checking the stream on his television. Well then, 13 degrees and sunny, Benjamin says. That is definitely better than it is over here. Deborah Walters is checking in from Barbados. I'm betting that over there, even though it is still morning, during the day the weather is going to be a lot better than it is over here. And Tina asks, will I catch the Silkway landing? What time is it expected to arrive? And whether or not it's going to land on this runway or on the Polderbaan is of course something that I cannot influence. At the moment, unfortunately, Polderbaan is also still open. Hopefully it's going to close again soon. Logically speaking, you would think that they don't open it and direct all traffic to this runway, but yeah, Schiphol has a way of being unpredictable or not always following logic, it seems. Let me see if turning off the image stabilization, maybe. It's always a trade-off. When you apply image stabilizer, you smooth out sudden movements, but it can also sometimes react unpredictably, overshooting, making for strange movements up and down, left or right suddenly. Back again with no image stabilization. Let's see how that fares. Milan Beretta says, hoi boy, leuk meekijken hier vanuit Alsmeer. So Milan is checking the stream from the other side of Schiphol. And Tina says, due in 26 minutes. Well, Tina, if the Silkway is going to land on this runway, I still will be here by then. So fingers crossed that it's going to land on runway 27 then. But as I have only just begun streaming, I can tell with a high degree of certainty that in 26 minutes I will still be around. And it's coming in from Baku, so yeah, coming in from the east, you would think that it's logical then to land on this runway. Hey Daniel, a quick hello during lunch break. Enjoy your lunch. Hope you're doing well, good to see you again. Let me in the meantime put my laptop upright again, started sliding a little bit. The table on which I have my laptop tent standing a little bit crooked. Ground here is a little uneven. Okay, and Yorkshire Biker says there's occasionally a bit of crackling, maybe just the wind. Well, it's definitely the wind. I think it has to do with being exposed to the wind and not standing behind the cover of the electricity house. That is also over here. It's only in certain directions, because I think if I'm facing like this, so away from the wind, you don't hear it as much. But when you're almost perpendicular to the direction of the wind, it's more likely to occur. So this Thursday it is King's Day in the Netherlands, and I had hoped that by now, end of April, I wouldn't have needed my gloves anymore or my rain trousers to keep warm. But there you go. Another Sky Team liveried Embraer. Saw one just now as well. In the meantime, Pete, good afternoon. Almost overlooked that you are also present. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. So, the next airplane is already arriving. After it has landed, let me show you a bit the bigger picture. Maybe reactivating image stabilization might be better. So, typical Dutch skies, as you can see. We had rain overnight and in the morning. And if you look over there, you can still see the dark clouds. I think that was the rain that hit me as I was setting up earlier. This is where the traffic is coming from. This is facing west. Wind is approximately coming from over there. You guys can also see if I show you guys the windsock. But it's almost directly headwind for this runway, so would be logical if most, if not all, traffic would come this way. Hey Rick, goedemiddag. Good to see you. Well, the phone holder I already had, but I had it mounted to one of the legs of my tripod, and that meant having to look down each time I wanted to see the chat or have a look on flight radar. Now I just have to back up my head a little bit and I can see whatever is on my phone screen. So it's definitely an improvement because I can keep what I'm looking at on camera also in view. Makes it easier. I noticed yesterday, for instance, when an airplane is departing and you don't have to follow it very actively yet, that you can also read out some details from flight radar. So in that sense, that is definitely an improvement. It is also a bit easier to keep track with the chat, although yesterday too, in time span of 4 hours, we had like almost 1200 chat messages. So then it's still hard to keep up because that means an average of 4 to 5 messages per minute. Janus Butafis, good afternoon. How is life in Athens? Probably better and warmer and sunnier than over here. Yeah, and photo for you, exactly why I turned off the image stabilization again, because it has ups and downs, but it's never a perfect solution. I do feel that working without image stabilization activated is better, more responsive. So I didn't turn it on again, and I think for now I will just see how it goes. In the meantime, the sun is starting to come out a little bit, so how about that? Matt Taylor says, let's hope spring will finally arrive. Yeah, well, I've been hoping for that for some time now. So far, the weather gods haven't been favorable to me and to all of us in the Netherlands. Now, in the meantime, traffic is also taking off from over here. Runway 18 left. Of course, we have some wildlife. I think I also saw one further downstream or upstream, I think. Right, so the next traffic is already coming this way. Let me have a look on flight radar, see what is coming. So there's an Embraer 190 coming in from Prague at the moment, arriving first. And we will see a 737-700 inbound from Stockholm after that. Third plane to arrive is going to be a 777, China Southern Cargo, flight 495, inbound from Shanghai. On the way now for almost 11.5 hours. But first up, an Embraer 190, KLM flight 1354. This airplane that you are now seeing is 13 years old. It had its first flight in March 2010. I am going to enable dynamic image stabilization this time around. I had standard just now. Let's see if that maybe makes it a bit more stable, because I noticed the wind is a bit jerky and that also makes my arm movements a bit jerky. Hopefully this will make things somewhat smoother, although it will occasionally move up or down, overshooting a little bit. So this is a Boeing 737-700 inbound from Stockholm. Left there an hour and 40 minutes ago. This airplane is 13 years old. First flight was in November 2009. Hey there Eddie, goedemiddag. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Right, so next up is going to be the China Southern Cargo 777 freighter inbound from Shanghai. The airplane 3 years old. First flight was in February 2020. It's underway now for 11.5 hours. Ja. Ik werd er al voor gewaarschuwd. Sibren says, here come my AliExpress packages. Definitely, a lot of people will be happy with the content of this airplane, undoubtedly. Right, so next up are going to be an Embraer 190 from KLM inbound from Billund and an A320 Neo from Easyjet. Looks like there are a lot of jets parked over at the general aviation part of the platform. There is the Embraer 190. Can we see the plane behind it? Yeah, on the left hand side, just about. The Neo. Let's see, there's another 737 coming in, and the Silkway is, what is it, 5 or 6? Next. So first up is this Embraer 190 inbound from Billund, KLM flight 1344, 9 years old. First flight was in January 2014. Kathleen saying that Silkway is number 4. Well, won't be too long for the first queen to arrive. Silkway Airways inbound from Baku. If you need to take a pit stop, now's the chance. Make sure that you are back in time. Victor Cedeno checking in from Panama. Good day to you, good morning. How's life in Panama? Next up is Easyjet, an A320 Neo inbound from Milan. The airplane is 4 years old, had its first flight in June 2018. A photo for you says that the A380 is 30 minutes out. Hopefully by then they'll close down runway 18 right, so that it has to land over here. That's always a little uncertainty that we have to deal with. Okay, time to experiment further and switch off image stabilization once again. See if maybe that will make for less up and down movement. It feels like we're on a ship in a storm with the image going up and down. I think that's mostly to do with the image stabilizer. Okay, so next up is KLM flight 1620 inbound from Milan, Boeing 737-700. Departed from Milan an hour and 20 minutes ago. The airplane 14 years old. Its first flight was in October 2008. that A330 going to take off? It has the looks of it. Let me have a look. What is inbound? An A320 from Turkish. Okay, and the 747 is number 2, so yeah, let's just turn around the camera then. If there's a lull and 18 left is still open for departures, of course we can have a look and see from over here the departing traffic, but as the second plane is the 747, can we see it already? Don't see it just yet.
Het is dat niet dat de aals voor Turks waarschijnlijk kort en makkelijker is geweest. Want je rijdt en draait en je draait.
No, it's not yet visible, unfortunately.
Cargo was het wel makkelijker.
So let's first follow this Turkish Airbus inbound from Istanbul.
Dat had je ook kunnen zeggen over de 747. Je had ook die kant, die buigt ook die kant af, maar je kunt tegen wat aan. Nou, het is cargo en ja, het verschilt weer taxi. En zo druk is het niet op de twee banen. Nou, hier is het.
Huh.
Ja, toch? Ja,
Still get a wobbly picture. Back to enabling image stabilizer then. Now, in the meantime, the A330 lining up to take off, but we have more important things to look at. Ladies and gentlemen, the first queen of the skies for today. It is Silkway West Airlines flight 201 inbound from Baku, where it left 4 hours and 47 minutes ago. This is a Boeing 747-400 freighter, 22 years of age. Its first flight was in September 2000.
de laatste tijd vond ik een vliegtuig ergens gaan. Ik was helemaal verbaasd. Sorry? Ik was helemaal verbaasd. De laatste tijd waren een vliegtuig ergens gaan. Meestal zie je wel zwarte vegen en alles erop. Ik weet niet wat ze ermee doen. Dat heeft geen eens meer. Ja, dat werkt in de hele druk zo goed. Die KLM-kisten die blijven wel, vind ik wel mooi staan.
Nee, nu net even geregeld. Ze hebben net nog even de Kio gedaan.
Folks, if you're liking what you're seeing, make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Turn on notifications so that whenever I go live in the future you receive a heads up and can join us for more action. Now, the Queen has just landed and it is time for the Turkish A330 to take off. Hey there, good evening, Ant-Man. 16 hours to go. Make sure that you pack for wintry conditions. It is sub 10 degrees centigrade at the moment, or maybe just about 10 degrees C, so not exactly warm. I think tomorrow and the day after tomorrow are going to be the coldest days of the week, with highs under 10 degrees C, so that is under 50 degrees F. It is set to improve on King's Day on Thursday, but seeing is believing. Now going from outbound to inbound, we keep switching back and forth. Easyjet about to touch down. In the Europcar special livery, if you can call it that. Basically just a sticker for a car rental company on the standard livery. Alright then. Now the exposure to the wind is causing my hands to get a little cold, so let me turn on my gloves. And I am going to switch off the image stabilization again, because I really don't like that up and down movement that it's creating. Well, let's just wait for the next traffic to arrive. Hey Tony Hart, checking in from the UK. Hope you're doing well, mate. Good afternoon. Welcome to the stream. All other viewers who have in the meantime joined us, good day to you all. Welcome to AMS Live. My name is Boy. We are standing alongside the Buitenvelderbaan, runway 27, currently one of the 2 runways in use for arrivals. Wind is blowing from the west mostly. Interestingly, they also have the Polderbaan open for arrivals. But if I turn around and show you guys the windsock, doesn't really make a lot of sense. If anything, you would say that there's a little bit of tailwind, as the Polderbaan is perpendicular to this runway. So if anything, you would think that there's a little bit of tailwind landing on the Polderbaan. This runway would make the most sense to be used for arrivals only, but Schiphol wouldn't be Schiphol if they didn't do something that wasn't exactly logical. Now in the meantime, what is up? Well, at least the Polderbaan is still open, that I can see on flight radar. Inbound next is Pegasus flight 1251, inbound from Istanbul, A321neo, left Istanbul 3 hours and 5 minutes ago. The airplane 2 years old. First flight was in October 2020. And there's an Embraer 175 after that. And hey, a Dreamliner from El Al coming this way. So often they send a 737. We have already seen triples 2 times, I think, in the last couple of weeks. And today they are sending a 787-9 Dreamliner from Tel Aviv to Amsterdam. Interesting. So that is number 3. First up, the Pegasus A321neo inbound from Istanbul. Smooth as can be under these conditions. Still not happy with the footage. I have two settings for image stabilization, standard and dynamic. I had it on dynamic first. Let me go back to standard. Maybe that is just the moderation that I need, other than of course the moderators that I already have. But this is a different type of moderation. And Kathleen, totally agree. So far, excellent landings. Also, not a lot of exciting stuff, unfortunately. No go-arounds just yet. So, first up, KLM flight 1904, Embraer 175, 6 years old, inbound Hanover. After that, we are going to see the Dreamliner from El Al, inbound from Tel Aviv. Beautiful A350, is it going to take off? And is it going to take off from the runway threshold, or is it going to take off from an earlier entrance to the runway? Time will tell. Now the Dreamliner from El Al also closing in, so I am going to turn around the camera because we are here for inbound traffic after all. Looks like the A350 is taxiing to the runway threshold, so we'll have a few minutes. It's probably gonna get clearance for takeoff after the arrival of this this Dreamliner, sorry. Don't see the Dreamliner from El Al that often flying to Amsterdam. So really nice to see it for a change. Cafe Pacific, ladies and gentlemen. You can see that the runway is still damp from the precipitation we had earlier. Beautiful to see. You can see that they immediately have to correct for the wind, which is coming from the right. well, Airlines says 7 minutes until the A380. So that is definitely something to keep an eye out for. In the meantime, had to put my laptop up straight again. It was a little bit shifted. Alright then. Don't see the A380 just yet. Let me have a look. Where is it? Oh, it is still... Oh, it's still far out. Definitely still 10-15 minutes out, I would say. But it is getting closer by, that is for sure. Okay, Norwegian. Don't see any grumpy faces on the tail of this vehicle. Oh wait, there is one. Whoa. At least from what I could see on my little camera screen, it wasn't a grumpy lady. Meanwhile, check this out. Garuda Indonesia in the retro livery, Republik Indonesia. It says on the front of the fuselage. I did see it already as I was driving towards Schiphol. There is a narrow body on short final, so I think it will hold short until it has landed, or it has to be very quick. I think they will wait. Embraer 190 inbound from Helsinki, about to touch down. So yeah, it is holding short, and it will wait until the Embraer 190 first has landed, which is already closing in. Kuni, is that a question or is that an explanation? Is the polderbaan closed in the meantime or is it still open? You tell me. Would be awesome if it were. because if the Polderbaan were closed already, then we'll know for sure that the A380 is going to come this way. Ah! One of the fellow spotters that have accumulated here just said to me that the A380 is in fact coming over here, so thanks for that. Yep, though confirmed, Polderbaan closed, so in the meantime, look at this beautiful picture. Lovely backdrop of a typical Dutch sky, imposing clouds. Little reflection of the sun. Okay, and away she is behind the clouds. Let's entertain ourselves with another 777 then. Hey, thanks there, Spice Fire. This definitely is a nice spot, particularly in today's runway configuration, because the takeoffs take place on the runway perpendicular to the runway where most landings take place. So definitely a good place to be spotting from. Let me have a quick look on flight radar. So inbound A738 MAX E2 Embraer 195, A320 Embraer 175. How about we do another departure over heavy? I'll keep an eye out for the A380 obviously. But now that we are here, I figured there's also a Dreamliner standing there, ready to go. Okay, so the Dreamliner has to wait a little. It has to wait for this airplane to land because these two runways cross each other, intersect. Anima 27 says that the A380 is above Almere now, so that gives it about 5 minutes or so before it's going to become visible. If you need to take a bathroom break, be quick, but now you still have the time. And Sasha, I completely agree. It is high time for summer to begin. Okay, so there's a Neo, or at least an Airbus from Easyjet that is taking off first. Okay, well that means that the Dreamliner will have to wait because on short final is already the next airplane. E2 Embraer 195 KLM. Will it? Yeah, it will. Just about to ask the question, will it or won't it? Gotta love the reflection of the lights, spray. The tower in the background is a water tower, Aalsmeer. Also very nice views from above, also back to Schiphol. You can climb it on Sundays. Did that, I think 2 years ago, with a buddy of mine who lives in Aalsmeer. Alright, I think I see the Emirates A380 Super in the distance, and it is time to focus on the King. I'm going to forgo following the preceding aircraft, and I am going to focus on the King. It is today's daily flight from Dubai to Amsterdam, Emirates A380 Super, flight 147. It departed from Dubai 6 hours and 24 minutes ago as we speak. It's a regular Emirates livery, no special liveries today, unfortunately. This particular aircraft, 8 years old, had its first flight in April 2015. Hey there Lisa, good afternoon, good to see you again. You are just in time for the King of the day. Now there is a little bit of crosswind from the right, you can definitely see by the way the nose is pointing a little towards us. Folks, if you are liking this content, be sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Make sure that you turn on the notifications so that whenever I go live in the future, I'm looking to go live again on Thursday, a King's Day special, that you get a heads up and can join us once again if you are feeling like it. If you're living in the Netherlands, grab a tompoes pastry. Sit back and relax. Well, that sounds like a very royal application of the reverse thrust, only ending just now. I was beginning to doubt whether it was the sound of a different airplane taking off, but it was still the reverse thrust that was applied. Alright, so what is going to follow the King? It is a Transavia 737-800 inbound from Faro, where it left 2 hours and 15 minutes ago. This airplane we are about to see is 21 years old and had its first flight in April 2002. Transavia flight 5356. Wat is de status van de 737, jongens? Onderweg. 40 minuten. Nou, maar volgens mij is de polderbaan nog steeds open, hè? Hij is weer open, ja.
Deze Airbus A320 gaat er...
Oh ja, ja. Nou ja, dikke fout.
So there's a very ancient 737-300? 300 underway from Birmingham, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That we are waiting for. Or at least hoping that it's going to land on this runway.
35 jaar oud.
35 years old, ladies and gentlemen. A rarity these days. Inbound next, Air Malta. A320neo coming in from Malta, 3 years old, bit younger than 35. First flight July 2019. Now, the Neo already has its sunglasses on. I wish we could do the same. Gloves and umbrellas for us. But yeah, this bird is flying in from Malta, so undoubtedly much better weather over there. So originally Air Malta had a red livery, but it's so white because of all the sunscreen that they have put on it. Just because of the abundance of sunshine over there. Yeah, Hanama, for an airplane 35 years old is relatively ancient. Not as old as the Kota we saw yesterday, but admittedly I am also older than that, so... But then again, I am an old soul. And sometimes I do feel ancient. Somebody is enthusiastic about the next airplane to arrive. Might it be somebody's favorite livery? Welling. Let me quickly zoom in then. Welling inbound from Alicante. A320. Now, at the risk of getting cold hands again, I am going to take off my gloves because operating the camera and the phone is much easier barehanded. Now you guys can see it's not a tsunami by any means, but it is definitely windy. You can probably hear it as well. In the meantime, this food, I think it is, a grebe, checking some food for some food over there. Not a lot of birds in the water at the moment. We are seeing another Vueling A320 come in, inbound from Barcelona. This is a 15-year-old aircraft that had its first flight in April 2008. Meerkoet, sorry Wilma, Meerkoet. I thought it was a foot. I thought the Meerkoet was the one with the kuif. But Meerkoet, okay, well I keep forgetting, I keep mixing them up. Apologies for that. I am no bird expert by any means. Peter P says, looks windy out there. It definitely is. I am fortunately dressed for warmth. Let's have a look and see. No departures taking place immediately over there. There is another arrival. Let me just zoom out a little bit. I see that the Polderbaan is also still open for arrivals, unfortunately. Now, how about that? The sun looks like it's peeking from behind the clouds just a little. Might be opening up just a tad. At least that means that it's going to stay dry at least. Which is better than having to get out the umbrella again. Now it is windy, but so far no iffy landings or potential go-arounds. In that sense it is a bit dull. So next up is Embraer 175 inbound from Düsseldorf, and another Embraer 175 is following it. Meanwhile, a gentleman duck over here swimming along with the current. Very smart idea. Not trying to fight it, just go with the flow. Here, another smart gentleman duck. even a little bit of a wheelie. So windy, yeah, but it seems that the conditions are not too challenging for the pilots so far. Obviously, that's a good thing. Aaron has to go again, has to do some dishwashing. Yeah, those are some of the things that you also sometimes have to do, unfortunately. Hopefully see you again soon. Take care. And NL Aviation wishes us good morning from sunny Bonaire. Good morning to you too, my friend. Sunny Bonaire. Better than cold and windy Netherlands. Daniel Jaeger asks, what ocean are you close to, boy? Well, technically speaking, the North Sea is connected to the Atlantic Ocean, so I think that would be the ocean that we are most closest by to in the Netherlands. Hey Paul, no need to apologize or anything, man. I said it before, I'll say it again. If you have other stuff to do, do the other stuff. If you don't feel like being here, also do something else. Don't feel like you need to apologize for being there or being absent. That is utter nonsense. Good to have you again. And all other viewers who have in the meantime joined us, welcome on this Monday afternoon from a windy Schiphol. Wind is blowing from the west. Hey, thanks. If I show you the windsock, it seems to have changed a little bit to the northwest, but mostly west. This runway we are standing along is runway 0927, currently in use as runway 27, so landing towards the west, facing mostly headwind. Polder run is also open at the moment, which is the westmost of the three north-south oriented runways. The airplanes over there land in southern direction, so they will be facing a lot of crosswind. More than the pilots face over here. Now, we had rain over here in the morning, and as I was setting up we still had a rain shower that I had to grab my umbrella for because the camera was starting to get a little wet. In the meantime, everything has dried up again, and as you guys can see on the airplane, even the sun is starting to come out every once in a while. Now, the weather for the rest of today is set to remain windy and an isolated occasional rain shower here or there. Looking out to where the weather is coming from. Pan the camera. Still seems like friendly clouds. So for the time being, we're good here. If you tuned in just now, you missed a 747 and you missed the daily Emirates A380. Once I get home, I will timestamp these highlights and other highlights, put them in a pinned comment below the stream and also in the video description. So if you missed it and you don't want to look for it, check in later today. Now I'll put it in the description. Now, both runways still open for arrivals. The first airplane to come this way is a Boeing 737-800 from KLM, inbound from Rome. Left there an hour and 52 minutes ago. The airplane, 14 years old. First flight was in May 2008. Looking to see if we might see some heavies after that. For now, it seems that the next heavy is going to be an A330-300 from Turkish inbound Istanbul that is now flying over the province of Flevoland. Probably an ETA of 10 to 15 minutes or so. I think we'll see 3, 4, maybe even 4 or 5 narrow bodies before it. The first of which is the 737-800 inbound from Rome. Well, how about that? Nice wheelie on that 737. Maybe it's even easier with a lot of headwind, I don't know, I think it might be. Could cause some more lift. Okay, Kuni says that the old 737 looks to be going to the polar band, so unfortunately we won't be able to see it over here unless it is taxiing over the east side of the platform. And yeah, we do have a wheelie winner for the time being, the 737 of all airplanes. You would think it would probably be a heavy body that would win the competition, but we're not done streaming yet, so who knows what might come next. Let me in the meantime see if I can wrap the garbage bag that I wrapped around my power supply a bit firmer so that it doesn't make so much noise. Alright. Everything in my laptop tent also seems to be okay. Also, almost forgot that I still have a thermos with coffee here, which is not too cold, fortunately, yet. So yeah, though referring to the A330 as a butter machine, I like that. I like that nickname. But yeah, we haven't seen a lot of A330s touch down really bumpy and hard. They really seem to excel in being smooth landers. First this E2 Embraer 195. The A330 is still a bit out. Won't be too long. Are there any 747s inbound for this afternoon? Preferentially coming in from the east. That would be nice. NL Aviation needs to go again. Thanks for joining us. Hope to see you again in the future. And have a nice day. Still early for you. Got the entire day ahead of you. Oh, and your landing on Bonaire was really hard. Okay, well, there's always an exception to the rule, isn't there? And Wendy, I fully agree. I wish that summer would hurry up and also that it would linger a bit. I've asked the question before, but where is this so-called global warming that you hear so much about? Meanwhile, Leon says that there's a Qatar now over Deventer. Probably also for runway 27, definitely I agree with that.
De kustwacht die gaat zo meteen afbuiten de auto, denk ik.
Ah, en waar is hij nu?
Hij zit nu, ja, hier.
Ah ja.
Hij gaat zo meteen de
Yeah. We're going to see the Coast Guard Dash 8 probably follow the glide slope for runway 27 and then make a left-hand turn to land on runway 22. In the meantime, quack quack. They are a bit scattered, hard to grab, to place them all in one shot unless I really zoom out. Also, there is another metal bird inbound. Okay, I can see two sets of landing lights in the distance. Yeah, there they are, both in the same shot. Now I only have traffic filtered for inbound Schiphol, so I don't know if one of these are or is already the Dash 8. Oh, apologies, the wind blew down my camera, which now captures more wind with the phone upright attached to it, so something I need to take into consideration to lock the tilt if looking away a little bit. Now, although at ground level it doesn't feel like the wind has increased, it does seem that this Embraer is struggling a bit more than the other planes have been so far with the wind. Correcting a lot, banking left and right. But despite all that, as it gets overtaken by a car, or at least it looks like it. In the end, still a very solid landing. Now, let's see, this is a regular airplane, and is that the Dash 8? No, that also seems to be a regular airplane. Okay, huh. Yeah, I'm still not happy with the footage. Turning off image stabilization once again. Let's see what it does.
Nou, misschien moet hij ontspannend. De Ryanair die gaat niet naar polder.
Oh,
Die schijnt door te vliegen.
oké.
Die gaat naar buitenvelden. Dus
Dan gaat hij dicht. Dan gaat hij misschien dicht.
misschien hebben we die 300 dan nog. Ik hoop het wel.
Oh boy, this is yeah. So.
De Coast Guard is daar.
Sorry?
Daar. Het zit eigenlijk gewoon.
Oh ja, ja, ja.
Je ziet hem heel moeilijk, maar.
Ik zie hem.
gaat hij een extra rondje maken. Wel leuk als hij overkomt. Maar ja, dan is het kiezen, 330 of...
Ja, precies. In the meantime, I did my image stabilizer. I turned it on again because I immediately saw the difference it made. Now, there's also the de Havilland Dash 8, the Coast Guard airplane, which might be landing on runway 24, I think. We've seen that before. So, let me go back to the A330 from Turkish. Still a bit wobbly, the footage, but much less than without image stabilizer on. This is a standard image stabilizer, maybe the dynamic is even better. Well, that was a very solid landing. In the meantime, I have switched to dynamic image stabilizing. Hopefully that is even better. Now folks, if you guys are liking what you're seeing, do consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. It allows you to turn on notifications so that whenever I go live in the future, you receive a heads up and can join us for more live streaming action from the ever-bustling Schiphol Airport if you have the time for it and are feeling like it. It also helps me greatly to reach a wider audience of people like you and me who are also into content like this. So, the A330 from Turkish just touched down. Now I do still see traffic going to Polderbaan, unfortunately. There's also a 777 inbound from Sao Paulo, 777-300ER, but it looks like it is going to go to the Polderbaan. Now we are expecting a Qatar 777 inbound from Doha that is now almost over Almere. So that is expected over here within 10 minutes. First up, we will see a few more narrow bodies. The first one of which is going to be an Easyjet A320 inbound from Berlin. Left there an hour ago. 12 years old. First flight was in February 2011. Okay, now I'm thinking that we're going to see a departure. Or is it still waiting for... Now looking in the distance, it does seem that we might see another rain shower in a few moments. and the heavy lined up will have to wait. First, this airplane is going to touch down, and these runways are intersecting, so this is the daily Air France Embraer 170 inbound from Marseille, if I looked correctly, or it was from Rennes, either one of the two. Air France up, up, up. Now, if it were to rain in a few minutes, which it does seem is a possibility, I might have to grab the umbrella that I have with me to keep the camera dry. Is goed man, dankjewel, fijne dag. I believe I am already starting to feel a few droplets. Let me have a look on flight radar, see what it says. The weather radar, flight radar. So yeah, we might be seeing a few droplets. Fingers crossed that it's only a few isolated droplets, nothing too serious. Flight radar doesn't say anything. should be dry. Well, that also was the case with the previous rain shower that I got over me when I was just set up. Now, hopefully you guys can see something, because it seems like the footage is quite dark actually with my on my camera screen. Now I do have ND filters activated, which might be a bit overkill when the sun isn't out at all. Could open the diaphragm a little bit. At least to me it seems like maybe just a tad dark. Alright, so away with the ND filter then. Got the impression that the wind is picking up just a little bit. Hola, Anita Clara. Hola, hola. Yeah, Yorkshire biker, it does look like a typical UK day. We share a lot our two countries. Unfortunately, we also share the weather. So this inbound plane is now the 777 from Qatar, inbound from Doha. 777-300 ER. Ten-year-old airplane. First flight January 2013. Flight time of 6 hours and 6 minutes at the moment. Right, let's have a look. There's also a A330-200 inbound from Doha. And most inbound traffic, well no, that's premature. I was about to say that most inbound traffic seems to be coming to this runway, but it does seem that the polderbaan is also still open. Now, I am going to put on my gloves again. Unfortunately, operating the camera barehanded, still a bit too cold with the constant exposure to the wind over here. So inbound next is an Embraer 190 inbound from Trondheim, 11 years old. First flight was in January 2012. Not the longest wheelie of the day, but definitely a nice one. And an A350 from China Southern seems to be on the move. Don't know if it has arrived here on the polderbaan or if it's going to depart, but if it's going to depart, then it's looking to taxi to runway 24 to do that. Now, there's a little business jet underway for a Tyrol air ambulance. Interesting, because I would have thought that the skiing season was already over. But yeah, there is a Tyrol air ambulance inbound from Olbia. Okay, so from Italy. Cessna citation, Cessna 550 citation, Bravo. The airplane 24 years old. First flight was in January 1999. Love how the reverse thrusters on these business jets are like spades that rotate and basically block the exit and divert the exhaust gases up and down to function as a reverser. Well, as you guys can see, the weather it is a bit iffy. I wonder how long I'm going to keep it dry over here. We'll find out soon enough. First up, Mascargo Airbus A330. There it is. Mascargo A330-200 freighter flight 6126 inbound from Doha. This airplane is 11 years old, had its first flight in March 2012. Kuni says no heavy rains on the radar. Well, the thing is that there were no heavy rains on the radar when the camera got really wet after just having set up. So I am a bit distrustful of what Buienradar and all the other apps are saying today in regards to the weather. Fingers crossed. For now, still dry here. In the meantime, let me have a look on flight radar. Okay, also a Cessna inbound over the city of Amsterdam to land on runway 22. Might also be interesting to see if we can capture that one coming in. Don't see it visually just yet, but okay. NetJets Cessna 680 citation latitude inbound from Trebin. Don't see it yet, so let me quickly turn around and oh dear, I do see some droplets now on my camera screen and on the camera. Oh yeah, it is starting to rain, so I'm going to lock the tripod for now. Grab the umbrella and stand next to the camera with my umbrella out. You might be hearing the rain on the umbrella. It has indeed begun to rain. So, on a little break from operating the camera actively, or at least with both hands, I do see the landing lights of the Cessna Citation that is entering our field of view from over the city of Amsterdam. Here I was thinking I might take off the garbage bag that I covered my power supply with because of the noise it was making, but yeah, it's almost May over here in the Netherlands and still no sign of spring. Luckily I have a storm umbrella that can hold its own, so it's just a matter of waiting, probably just a small isolated shower that will last for less than 10 minutes. I think the Cessna is now approaching from the right, from the left. If you guys, let me see. Oh yeah, you can see indeed. Just one hand operation. That's not going too bad with just one hand. Okay, well, I don't hear any droplets on the umbrella anymore, so I think we might be good again. Let me put the umbrella away then. Back to the action it is. Yeah, global cooling. Indeed, Koenie. Where is this global warming we've been hearing so much about? C. Jones asked, was that a rabbit in the grass over there? I didn't see anything. You're probably referring to the other side of the water, right? I don't see anything moving in the grass looking visually. Hard for me to say there. No, I didn't have a chance to look at flight radar. What? I don't recognize this livery. What is this? Air Berlin, Fabian says. Okay. Also no text on the livery, so I was a bit curious. Hey there, Lance, good to see you again. And hey there, Amy, good afternoon. Right. So, Polderbaan still open. We are now seeing inbound 737s. First one a 900, after that a 700. After that, third one is going to be an Airbus 220 from Swiss. Looking to see if we might start seeing some heavies coming in. There is a heavy flying along the west coast, but I think it's going to go to Polderbaan. Very unfortunate that they keep Polderbaan open as well this afternoon, given the prevailing wind. But then again, yeah, what can you do about it? So, inbound now, Boeing 737-700 KLM flight 1652. And the camera, very picky when it comes to where the object should be to keep the focus on it. So this is a Boeing 737-700 inbound from Venice. The airplane is 13 years old. First flight was in January 2010. Left Venice an hour and 27 minutes ago. So, just checking, also see some business jets that are inbound. I think they might use runway 22 to land on. First up is going to be Swiss flight 728 A320 300 inbound Zurich. Okay, and the airplane that I didn't recognize is Sund Air coming in from Kassel. Is what I am reading back in the chat. Thanks for the update, folks. A photo for you says that there is an Etihad 787-10 Dreamliner inbound in 25 minutes. Is it the standard livery or is it another special livery? Ah, and C. Jones did in fact see a rabbit. And Shaq says that the Etihad will be the standard gold livery. But that is a very pretty livery regardless. So 25 minutes from now, that's doable. In the meantime, where is it? Oh, there it is, yeah.
Meneer,
Ja,
wat is je YouTube-kanaal?
ik ben AMS Live.
Hè?
Ja, AMS Live. Dus als je nu inderdaad op YouTube kijkt, dan kun je dit ook terugzien.
Wacht, welke spoor? Oh, je bent van Nederland.
Ik ben nu live. Ja, ja, zeker.
Hoe heet je?
AMS Live en ik heet Boy. Hi.
Hi.
Okay, so
We hebben een...
inbound is Transavia flight 6464. That is a Boeing 737-800 incoming from Mykonos. I'm also looking to the left because according to Flight Radar there's also a NetJets Cessna Citation latitude similar to what we saw earlier as the firefighters over here approach. Now there's also a business jet on arrival for runway 22. Should become visible on the left, but I don't see it yet, so let's first focus in on the Transavia. What you're hearing is a fire truck with the alarm or with the sirens on, passing over here.
Wat een Henie maken was dat? Ja, dat is het.
Hij is live.
Transavia?
Hij is live, hè?
Ja.
So don't yet see the citation. Should become visible shortly. And there is another
Dit is de Oostbaan, dus.
Dassault Falcon 900C after it. Tri-jet, business jet.
Wat is dit dan?
Looking to my left to see if I can spot it already, but they are of course very small aircraft.
Wat?
Meneer, mag ik wat vragen?
Ja, tuurlijk.
Welke baan is dit ook alweer?
Dit is de buitenvelderbaan.
Dit is de buitenvelderbaan.
0927. Ja,
Check.
check.
Buitenvelderbaan. Weet jij, komt er nog een beetje groot aan? Of,
Nou, er is een grote onderweg uit het Midden-Oosten.
Ja?
Ik zit even te kijken op Flight Radar waar die precies uithangt.
Doe mij ook.
Die is nu net de Duitse grens overgekomen. Dat is een Boeing 787-10 Dreamliner. Dus dat is er zo eentje met die vleugels die gebogen zijn.
Oh ja.
En dan de grootste.
Oh ja.
Maar die is nu net Nederland binnengevlogen vanuit Duitsland. Dus dat duurt nog 20 minuten denk ik
20
ongeveer.
En die landt hier denk je? Of,
Hij komt vanuit het oosten. De
Ja.
polderbaan is ook open. Maar alles wat uit het oosten komt zal meest waarschijnlijk wel hier landen.
Oké.
Maar zeker weten doe je het nooit.
Nee, dat is altijd even afwachten.
Altijd
Ja.
spannend.
Ja.
Dat is voorlopig ook wel de enige grote, zie ik.
Wat zeg je?
Dat is voorlopig ook wel
Ja,
de
dat is
enige grote, zie ik hoor.
Die moeten we dan even meepakken. Ja?
Zeker.
Ja.
Maar je zou intussen nog eventjes bij de McDonald's even wat kunnen halen als je zou willen. Meanwhile, Dad is giving me an angry look with a smile, suggesting. So there's the citation.
Wil je ook een pakje of niet?
Nee hoor, dankjewel. Dankjewel. So Dad and his two children come over here. You guys probably heard it already. Looking to do some plane spotting. They were wondering if a big plane was going to come anytime soon, so I told them about the Dreamliner. Told them, well, it's still 20 minutes or so away, so if you want to grab something to eat at McDonald's, you still have the time. So the two kids immediately looking to Dad, so, well, that's a good idea, Dad. Let's do that. Anyway. Let me have a look. So the Falcon 900 should be close by. I don't see it just... Oh wait, I do see it. I was starting to doubt my eyesight. But these are really small planes, of course. Inbound for runway 22. So this is an X0 Dassault Falcon 900C. Inbound from Toronto, so there you go. These little jets can even go transatlantic. The airplane is 22 years old. Had its first flight in January 2001. Probably reappearing over here, yeah. Now, don't know how much these beauties would cost, but probably not cheap. So, looking to where the wind is coming from, there's even an opening in the sky, so I think we should be good for now in terms of staying dry. Let me have a look on Flight Radar, see... Okay, so there are two more planes Still a bit out, but underway. Embraer 175 from KLM inbound from Hanover. After that, 737-800 from Egypt Air inbound from Cairo. We also see an Easyjet A319 inbound from London Stansted that is flying downwind at the moment. So I'm thinking it is also going to land in a few minutes. 737-800 from KLM inbound from Zurich, also underway. And the Etihad, of course, also coming this way. So everything seems to be working a-okay. If I look in the laptop tent, that's a relief. In the meantime, Tim Trainer greeting from Derby, England. Or should I say Derby? Is it Derby or Derby? Probably Derby. Good afternoon to you, Tim. Teun and Philippe say hi. And Bayu Pamunga says, Sini malam, bro. And Lisa knows that a type rating for a Falcon costs around 80,000. That's a bit more expensive than a type rating for other types, for more commercial airliners probably. And Ali asks if the Boeing 737 MAX 8 has already solved the problem. Well, several operators are flying it again. It has been cleared again after they fixed what caused the two crashes. So as far as I know, it's a very safe plane to be flying in. And Photo for You says that there is a Dreamliner upcoming in special livery in 30 minutes. And Kuni, I think taking the toolbox on the plane will become a little bit difficult. It would be a good idea if the security would allow it to. Last time I flew and went to Austria, it never occurred to me that taking cutlery, metal cutlery in your carry-on case would be considered potentially dangerous. So I had a knife and fork and spoon tied together in my carry-on case, and it got checked by security, but they did allow me to go through. I think it was clear that it was just cutlery and not for stabbing people, but on my way back I did put it in my big suitcase that goes in the cargo hold, just to be sure. There you go, type rating for the 737 at Ryanair is around 20,000 euros, Lisa says. You probably have to pay it up front yourself when it's for Ryanair. Are they still hiring most of their pilots as self-employed people instead of hiring them for internally as employees? Photo for You says that the Dreamliner is now in the vicinity of Kiel. Veli-Matti is checking in from southern Finland where it is sunny. Seems that everywhere spring has begun except for the Netherlands. Welcome to the stream, my friend, and do blow some of that sunshine you guys have in Finland over here. We are all very much in need of some sunshine and warmer temperatures. So this is the Egypt Air 737. I like the livery, although the color scheme is a bit dull. A lot of airline carriers use blue and white. I do like the... yeah, what is it? Third eye? Part of the Sphinx? Really don't know what it's really supposed to be, but I do like the look of it, that's for sure. And hailstorm in the UK, says Yorkshire Biker. I feel for you, my friend. It's not much better over here, but at least it's dry for now. Hailstorms. Maggie Lee says, hi, good afternoon, peace sign. Well, peace to you too, Maggie Lee. In the meantime, we are waiting for the Etihad Dreamliner. First up is going to be an A319 from Easyjet inbound from London Stansted, and I think we might see the Etihad after that. Okay, well, operating the camera with gloves on, as you guys noticed, not the best in terms of smoothness. I don't feel I have a choice because it is still a bit chilly. Let's see. Oh, my bad. I was looking too far in advance. The A319 inbound from Stansted from Easyjet is now, of course. What we saw land was a 737 from KLM that arrived from Zurich. Looking out further in the distance on flight radar, I think that the Etihad might be number 2 after the Easyjet A319. Matt Taylor says, footage is great. Thank you so much, Matt. I do my best. Glad you are enjoying the footage. Hopefully you guys aren't experiencing too much crackling, because I did notice in some orientations you could hear some crackling. That has to do with the wind and being fully exposed to the wind over here. Now, focus, back up, and keep the focus. Now, believe it or not, you might see it already on the livery, but the sun is actually coming out for now. Makes for a nice contrast, dark sky in the background, but the sun illuminating the airplane and the grass over here. If you're tuning in just now, welcome to AMS Live. My name is Boy. This is the Buitenvelderbaan, runway 0927, in use now for westbound arrivals. Wind is blowing from the west mostly. Don't see the Dreamliner just yet, so let me show you guys the windsock. Oh well, somebody is just next to it, so let me try to show the windsock without showing that person's face who might want his privacy. So the wind is blowing mostly from the west, although Polderbaan is now also open, has been open for the entire afternoon. And the dad and his two children are back in time, just in time. We are waiting for the big plane that was crossing the German border just now. It's almost there, just in time. We should be able to see it in a few minutes. It is now flying over Diemen and Amsterdam southeast, so we should be able to see it arrive in a few moments. We are awaiting the arrival of Etihad Flight 77, a Boeing 787-10 Dreamliner inbound from Abu Dhabi, where it left 6 hours and 16 minutes ago. It is in the standard livery, and the airplane is 4 years old, had its first flight in January 2019. Sorry? Ja, tuurlijk.
En daar staat een Emirates A380, maar je weet dus niet waar die gaat optuigen.
Ofwel de landingsbaan hier, want je ziet hier ook een vliegtuig vertrekken. Of hij gaat vanaf de Kaagbaan. En dat is de landingsbaan die kant op. Maar omdat hij naar het oosten gaat, denk ik dat hij hier gaat opstijgen.
Oh ja.
Want dan kan hij meteen een bocht naar links maken en dan vliegt hij meteen naar zijn bestemming.
Ja. Dan kan je niet echt dichtbij komen, hè, bij die baan.
Nee, maar als hij gaat opstijgen, gaat hij absoluut wel vanaf het begin opstijgen. Dus dan sta je hier op zich goed. Dan kun je op zich door het hek het bekijken.
Oh ja, dan gaan we gewoon hier staan, jongens.
Je zou ook aan het einde van die baan kunnen gaan staan. Daar heb je ook een plek. Maar dan moet je dus eerst omrijden naar Schiphol-Oost. Maar je hebt daar ook een plek aan het einde van de baan. Maar
ja, dat is lastig. Even afwegen.
Dus de vraag is van, wil je hem horen opspoelen, dat hij zeg maar toeren gaat maken, of wil je hem zien opstijgen?
Ja, precies. Dat kun je nog even... Kijk, nu komt een hele grote aan, jongens.
Is dat hem?
Ja.
Ja.
Dat is die
So here is the 787-10 Dreamliner from Etihad inbound from Abu Dhabi, the biggest of the bunch in the standard livery.
Kijk, daar is ook een hele grote.
Beautiful to see the sun illuminating it. Also beautifully visible the curvature of the wings. Indeed, Matt, AMS logo wings. Beautiful airplane. Oh! Let's just stick on that side because there is a Dreamliner in the 100 years livery taking off. So, does anybody know what time the A380 is expected to depart again for Dubai? It's now 2:40 over here, 2:40 p.m. Just wondering, what's the expected departure time back to Dubai? SAS CRJ 900. Okay, thank you, Do and Tang. So that's in an hour and, well, 55 minutes from now. Definitely worth sticking around for. The father and his 2 children who just returned from the McDonald's asked about it, and seems that it is very likely that it's going to take off from runway 18 left, which means that we are able to see it even though we aren't up close and there's a fence in between, but we would be able to see and hear it properly. So that is definitely something worth sticking around for. In the meantime, I'm constantly battling the wind and the image stabilizer that overshoots up and down every now and then. Another Transavia. And where did I see it? There it is, the Etihad. And that blue-nosed 737 that we also saw land earlier seems like it's going to take off again. It is a bit of a clownesque sight to behold, I have to say. Thanks Tim Faro for your comment. It is a great day for filming. If it is great filming, I don't know. I'll have to look back once I get home, but it is definitely a good day to be out filming, albeit a bit cold. So I think the 737 will take off next. It is now on the runway. Nice to hear back from Matt Taylor. I'm enjoying the footage. Let's see. So at the moment inbound, not a whole lot going on. Although there is a 777 freighter from China Cargo Airlines now in the country, flying over the province of Drenthe on its way over here. We might see that land in 20 minutes or so. Let's switch it up a little. Let's see if we can follow the 737 takeoff in a few moments. It seems to be going right now. already zoomed in fully. Unfortunately, cannot zoom in any further than this. A couple of bananas in the background, DHL A300s. Now this airplane just took off in southern direction. The wind is blowing from the west, so there's crosswind from the right. You can see it already leaning into the wind a little bit. But now already starting to make its turn to the left. Well, I'm surprised that my camera can still keep it in focus. Such a small object. Also not a lot of contrast, but it seems that it's holding out just fine. I have to really keep it centered, and now I think it vanished into the clouds. Don't see any big birds just yet that look to take off from runway 18 left. Now, earlier in the week, yesterday no less, I was standing at the other side of the Kaagbaan, so that would be behind these buildings, and you could have a look on both sides on the cargo area of the platform. There you see an Atlas Air Queen. This is the south side we are now facing of the cargo area of Schiphol, located on both sides, the north side and the south side of the Kaagbaan, runway 0624. The mass cargo A330 that we saw land earlier in the middle of the screen, and it seems that there is a Welling Airbus, and it's probably waiting to take off from runway 24. If I look behind me, I don't see any planes arriving just yet. Let me lock the pen and tilt on my tripod and have a look on flight radar. Okay, so we are waiting for new traffic to come this way. First airplane to arrive is probably a 737-800 from Sun Express, inbound from Ankara, that is now flying over the town of Almere, so it should be inbound in a few minutes. So I guess for now we will just have a remote look at what is going on around the beginning of Kaagbaan. In the meantime, we also see a bird hovering still, probably one of those Falcons that we also saw earlier close by in the grass. Now the camera pan and tilt are fully locked. I don't have my hands on the tripod or the camera. You can see the bird, it is hovering perfectly still, really skilled. Now flying away again. Business jet in the foreground, taxiing back to the general aviation platform that is on the left side. Now we're waiting for the first incoming traffic, so I'm just going to fixate the camera on this part of the airfield for now and take a sip of water. Have to stay hydrated even under these conditions. Now, there are two Dreamliner 777s being towed. One we see over here, being towed back. But on the right, there is a SkyTeam liveried 777 that is being towed back to the maintenance hangar. And over to my right, there is an Airbus A330 from KLM lining up on the threshold. So I will point the camera to that in a moment. Inbound on 27 now, a 737-800, and it's being followed by a Vueling A319. I think the A330 might take off before the first airplane inbound will land. So let's just wait for that. First airplane is visible already in the distance. So if it's not going to spool up quickly, it will have to wait. Will be interesting to see if it's going to take off or not. Well, if it's not going to take off anytime soon, it will have to wait until the two airplanes that are arriving have landed. Now it seems that the all Dreamliner outbound to Tel Aviv is also going to take off from this runway. Okay, so the heavies will have to wait until the inbound traffic has landed, because further up this airplane is first taking off. So let me turn around the camera then back to the inbound traffic, because these two planes will first have to land before the KLM lined up on the threshold of 18 left can take off. Once again, these two runways intersect, so they will have to wait. one that has landed. Now the A319 from Vueling. And in the meantime, we can see on flight radar that the 777 is also getting closer by. So I think the A330 might have to wait a bit longer. Although, oh, the El Al is going to go first, by the looks of it. Or is it just taxiing to the runway threshold over the taxiway? I think that might be what it's doing. Ah, the A330 is pulling up. Sorry, that's a triple. I thought it was an A330, my bad. Maybe I should have accepted the offer the one gentleman and his two kids, the dad of the two kids, made if I also wanted a cup of coffee or something from the McDonald's. Okay, so the El Al Dreamliner is now lining up on the threshold of 18 left. In the meantime, we are waiting for the Vueling A319 that is getting close by and ready to land on runway 27. And I think that the El Al Dreamliner will take off after that. So it's a nice back and forth between inbound and outbound traffic on these intersecting runways. Makes for a lot of activity and an enjoyous afternoon. Okay, so next inbound for landing on runway 27 is probably the 777 inbound from Shanghai. First up, I think we will see the Dreamliner take off, probably back to Tel Aviv. I only have inbound traffic filtered on flight radar, but it's probably going back to Tel Aviv. Folks, if you're liking what you're seeing, do consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. Make sure that when you do, to turn on notifications so that whenever I go live in the future, you receive a heads up and can join us once again for further live streaming action over here from Schiphol Airport. I am planning to go out again on Thursday, which is King's Day over here in the Netherlands. Weather is set to be relatively okay, albeit a bit cool. So, the El Al Dreamliner now turning to the east. Time for me to go back to where the inbound action is coming from. We see a couple of landing lights. Now, first a small business jet. Let me try to zoom in. So this is a NetJets Embraer Phenom 300. inbound from Leeds. And quickly back with the camera to the inbound traffic. Here is the 777 from China Cargo Airlines inbound from Shanghai, where it left 11 hours and 3 minutes ago. This airplane is brand new. It had its first flight in March of this year, so it's brand spanking new. So new that Flight Radar doesn't even have a picture of it just yet. Right, so there's no immediate outbound traffic lined up on runway 18 right, or at least no heavies. There are a few that might take off further down the runway. Transavia 737 to be the first. I'm also having a look on Flight Radar to see what is coming on this run towards this runway for inbound arrivals. It seems that there are a few narrow bodies underway. Now you can clearly see crosswind from the right affecting the airplane. Switching back to inbound traffic. We have an A321 Neo from Pegasus Air inbound Istanbul, where it left 3 hours and 5 minutes ago. Also a brand new airplane. A bit older though than the previous one. This one, first flight May last year. So almost celebrating its first birthday. Now, despite the mostly headwind that these pilots are facing, so far all landings have been relatively smooth. If I take you guys to the windsock, you can see there is a little bit of wind coming from the right, but it's not a whole lot. It's mostly headwind that the pilots are facing when they land on runway 27, which is why we haven't seen any go-arounds yet. No gusty wind, no wind shear, or at least not that I know of. So this is a TUI Boeing 737 MAX 8 inbound from Karpathos, where it left 3.5 hours ago, just over 3.5 hours ago. This airplane, 4 years old, had its first flight in February 2019. Okay, just having a quick look in my laptop tent. I had my laptop lid closed a little bit so that the edges of the laptop tent aren't pushing the laptop over. Now I have to be careful that the lid doesn't close fully, because then the stream will get interrupted, and happened to me once before when I was checking the volume, or at least the audio, on my switcher, and then the stream suddenly stopped. Of course, not something I want to have happen again. Everything seems to be working just fine. E2, Embraer 195. Didn't have the time to check the details on flight radar, but lovely quiet airplane. Meanwhile, if I show you guys the bigger picture, there are a few more openings in the sky. This is where the wind is coming from, so that's good. But the wind is still constantly blowing. It is still cold. When I was setting up, it was just under 10 degrees centigrade, so that is just below 50 degrees Fahrenheit. I am going to put on my gloves again because my hands are getting really cold and stiff from the constant exposure to the cold wind. That makes switching between apps on my phone hard to do because my gloves don't work on the phone screen. But at least my hands now get the chance to warm up a little bit. Another Transavia 737. And the sun is also coming out a little as we speak. Also nice for a change. Now, looking on flight radar, the next airplane to come in is from KLM, inbound from Rome. Boeing 737-800. Where is it? There it is. What time is it? It is 3:10, so the daily Emirates A380 is expected to leave for Dubai within half an hour or so. Would be nice to capture both the arrival and the departure in one stream. So I am definitely going to stick around for that. I'm hoping that it's not going to take off from runway 24, but is going to go to runway 18 left instead. Which makes the most sense because it is going to fly to the east, so similar to the Dreamliner that went to Tel Aviv, that we also saw take off from this runway 18 left, then make an immediate left-hand turn to the east. I think the A380 is going to do the same once it is leaving. Don't see any traffic coming in just now, so let's have a look at what's going on the platform. There is some movement. Delta A330. Hey, and what is that? There is a Queen. Is that Suparna? Okay. Oh, Silkway. So I'm zoomed in the most I can do with the camera now. Looks like the Queen is going to line up and take off. Okay, let me have a look on flight radar. Okay, there is a citation, Cessna 650 citation, about to land. CRJ from Lufthansa after that. Come on, zoom in, focus. There you go. So interestingly, this Cessna citation landing on 27, not landing on 22. Always nice to see those business jets. You don't see them that much, so every time you get to film one, it's always nice. Although they do look they do look the same to me. They do all look the same to me. Okay, also just in time to see the Queen on the initial part of its takeoff from runway 24. The runway I was standing at yesterday. So that is basically somewhere over there. Even from so far away, still a magnificent machine to look at, especially against the cloudy backdrop. Gives a sense of space, I think. How would you describe it? Scale, that's the word I was looking for. Okay. Let's see, there's another airplane coming in, and that is a Dreamliner from TUI Fly, according to flight radar. Let me take off the glove and click on it for more details. So this is a Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner that is from TUI Airlines Belgium. It originates from Antalya in Turkey, where it left 3 hours and 28 minutes ago. The airplane is 8 years old, had its first flight in January 2015. quickly put back my glove on. So if I let go of the camera and the tripod, the wind is constantly shaking it. I really have to lay my left hand on the handle to also stabilize it a bit from the wind. Now I'm doing that anyhow because I need to operate the zoom rocker with one hand and the rubber band attached to my pen handle with the other. Still have the dynamic image stabilization on. It's not perfect, but it does provide a more stable footage, I think, than without. Beautifully illuminated by the sun, the Dreamliner. Also seems that the color scheme is a bit different from the Dutch TUI, or does the Dutch TUI also have that much white in the front and bottom part of the fuselage? Maybe I'm just making it up in my head. I thought it was more blue, but okay. I was hearing a bang, trying to see if I can see the bird controller. I did see it pass by just now, but don't see it anymore. But I did see some movement. Oh, that must be the citation that we saw land just now. Almost at the parking at the general aviation platform. General aviation platform a bit further to the left. Now you guys can see plenty of business jets parked over there. There is the citation that we saw land just now. Hey, what an interesting airplane that looks to be. For a minute I thought it was one of Donald Trump's airplanes, but it isn't. So apparently this airplane also landed just now, maybe on the Polderbaan. Also taxiing back to the general aviation part. No idea whose airplane this is. Doesn't seem to be a normal corporate jet. Rodok says Max Verstappen. Is that Max Verstappen's jet? Ah, several people confirming Max Verstappen. Well, look at that. Too bad that I cannot zoom in any further. This is already fully zoomed in. So even if we were able to see who is getting out of the vehicle, well, you can already see the bird controller vehicle and how small that is. And those are not small vehicles, so would be really impossible to tell if he is on board actually. I do feel some droplets at the moment, and there are also some droplets on the camera. Hopefully it's only a few droplets. Okay, Leon says that the plane came in from Cannes, Monaco. Well, that is where he lives, doesn't it? Isn't it? So it is probably the reigning Formula One world champion. Awesome. Okay, is it going to park over there? If it is, then I will have to put on my digital zoom. Normally I wouldn't do that because of the quality deterioration, but okay. Bear with me, folks. Locking the pen and tilt. And back in the menu. Digital zoom, where is it? Digital zoom. Okay. 400 times. Excellent. Now bear with me, this is digital zoom that I have now activated, so probably the image quality will deteriorate, but have to fixate the tripod. Oh shit. Just a little more to the left. Alright. Okay, this is fully zoomed in. That is really bad quality. So yeah, Max Verstappen's business jet, ladies and gentlemen. Kathleen says that was totally him. Blue Sky says it isn't Max. Maybe they are picking him up? Nah, probably not. Unless he lent out his business jet to somebody else. Rodoc says it is the former jet of Richard Branson. How about that? Okay. Really need to hold the tripod steady, because if I let go, the wind is going to cause serious vibrations. Now let's see. Is that... So did the guy leaving the airplane enter the van or what? Or is there still activity going on over there? Doesn't seem to be. Now the van vanished behind this windscreen, and I am locking everything up and grabbing my umbrella again because it is starting to rain once again. Probably just an isolated few droplets, but since I don't have my rain cover over my camera, I have to keep it dry with my umbrella. You guys can probably hear it fall on the umbrella. Looks like just an isolated rain shower. In the meantime, it is 10 minutes until the Emirates A380 is expected to depart. Now it's typically parked on the other side of the platform. I'm looking visually to see if I can spot it, but I don't see it yet. Lance, it's been a pleasure having you around. See you again soon. I am waiting for the Emirates A380 just to see if it's going to take off from 18 left, which is where we are standing next to. Hopefully it is still open. Let me see if I can hold my umbrella with one hand and operate my phone with the other. Okay, so runway 24 and 18 left are still both open for departures. So then I think if the Emirates is about to leave, it will most likely go to take off from this runway where we are standing next to. I am going to stick around for the departure of the Emirates A380, whether it is departing from 18 left or from runway 24. I do think that that is going to be the last plane of the day. I have been neglecting my gym for a couple of weeks and I have every intention of going later today. And after I'm done streaming, it also takes a little while to wrap everything up, go back home and do all the things that I need to do after I'm done streaming, like updating the thumbnail and timestamping everything. So don't want to make it too late today. I haven't seen the A380 just yet. In the meantime, we are seeing a triple land. Let me see if I can pan with one hand. Now I am turning back the camera just so the lens of the camera doesn't get wet by rain droplets. Okay, so runway 18 left is still open, that's good. I do think that the rain is already subsiding. Looking in the direction of the wind, I do also see some blue skies again, so probably won't take too long. Let me go back to flight radar and both inbound and outbound. Okay, so the A380 also hasn't come alive on flight radar yet. Let me then have a look. Departures. What does flight radar say in terms of the expected departure? It is still raining a little bit, not as hard anymore as a few minutes ago. I guess you guys can probably hear it as well on the umbrella. Is it just me, or is the A380 no longer listed on the departure list on flight radar? So that means it is probably going to get active on flight radar soon. Alrighty. So, I think the rain has stopped again. Oh. Careful that my umbrella doesn't blow open the other way. Put it away again. Also take this moment to take a sip of water. Now, I didn't see the A380 anymore on the list of departures when I was checking flight radar just now. I didn't see it anywhere on flight radar just yet. Is there anybody who can give us an update about the whereabouts of the A380? It was expected to depart in 5 minutes from now, wasn't it? So, oh yeah, still have the digital zoom on. Let me turn that off first because it's not the most pretty. Now, is this not the tail of the Emirates A380 that I am looking at in the distance? Okay, so several confirmations that it should be leaving around 1:05. And I think I'm looking at the tail and the left outer engine in the distance. But it is delayed. Still looks to be on the gate. Not pushed back yet. So does it say anywhere how much the delay is expected to be? Minutes. 30 minutes. Now in the meantime, the sun is starting to come out, as you guys can see. The bigger picture. This is where the wind is coming from approximately, so it is a bit open again. What is the A380 doing? Is it already moving? Still seems to be fixated at the gate. Now in the meantime, it looks like there is a Turkish A330 lined up a bit further on the runway. It seems like it's on the runway. It's not queuing up to take off from runway 24, that's for sure. Now I'm having a look on Flight Radar to see what is inbound, and it seems that there are narrow bodies in abundance. Hey! We have a King being pushed back. Let's see what it's going to do. I am still inclined to think that it is going to take off from runway 18 left, as the Turkish A330 is doing right now. Basically more or less going in the same direction, these two airplanes. So if the Turkish A330 is taking off from this runway, then so will the Emirates A380 in a few minutes. Only I think that the A380 is going to taxi to the runway threshold and will take off and spool off closer by than this A330 did. I think the A380, if it does take off, will take the same, will follow the same standard instrument departure, so it will also make the same left-hand turn to the east. But it's all assuming that it's going to take off from runway 18 left and not from runway 24, of course. But runway 24 is oriented to the southwest, and that is more or less opposite to where it needs to go to. Now, where did it go? Ah, there it is. Like a shark fin just above the surface. Police helicopter. Aftakhuisje, as it's called in Dutch. The little building, I think it's an electricity building that I'm always standing next to when I'm standing over here. So we can see the tail of the A380. The A380 has been pushed back, so it is going to start up its engines, lower the slats and the flaps, and then ask for permission to taxi. And then we will see it move, and we'll find out soon enough if it is going to come to the runway we are also standing next to. And those says that the tower said 18 left or 24. Yeah, those have been in use for departure throughout the afternoon, so that makes sense. Now the question is, which one is it going to go to? Again, we saw the A330 from Turkish just now taking off from one head left, so I'm thinking that this one will also do that. So it's not yet on the move, but soon it will be. Question C. Jones asking about the vertical rotating radar. I was told that the red, white boxes are related to the ILS system. To be honest, I don't know. I do know that let me see. So this tower in the foreground with the 3 horizontal bits, that is part of the glide slope. I think it's even for the glide slope in the opposite direction, although I'm not sure. I understood that these were always positioned at the end of the runway. Now of course you have the ILS landing lights, but there are also 2 beams that are sent out horizontally and vertically so that you can follow the glide slope. And what is it? I think that's the localizer. Those are the localizer beams, horizontally and vertically. I would have to re-watch one of the YouTube videos about the ILS system that I recently saw. But the vertically spinning radar, if it is ILS connected related or not, I don't know for sure, but it might well be. Oh, the A380 is also on the move. I see the tail moving. There is the king. Donna asks if I can zoom to the Sheraton. There you go. Now, the king is on the move, and there's also a heavy lineup at the runway threshold. There is a Eurowings Airbus now landing on runway 27 to the left of me. Which has now cleared runway 18 left, so looking behind me, doesn't seem that there is traffic in the immediate vicinity, so might well be that this airplane is going to spool up in a few moments. There's an airplane taking off further down the runway first, so it will have to wait. And Albert is just in time for the flying apartment building. It is exactly the reason why I am also still around. I'm hoping that we will see it take a left-hand turn soon and go to where the KLM I was pointing the camera to just now is located. Meanwhile, I'm also keeping an eye out for the KLM. As soon as it's spooling up, I will turn the camera back to the right. Hey, this looks promising, folks. If it's going to runway 24, it wouldn't be making this turn. So I think we are not only going to see, we weren't only seeing the airplane land, but we are also going to see it take off in a minute. Now, to the left of me, an Embraer from KLM has just landed. Hey, just in time. Oh, that's okay. So the dad and his two children are also coming back. They decided on seeing the A380 take off from over here. It is now on the move. We should be seeing it taxi towards us. Don't think it's going to take off from anything less than the runway threshold, which is now getting cleared by this triple. So in the meantime, the Emirates A380 has started taxiing to the runway threshold of 18 left. And the dad and his two children standing there. Also just in time to witness the Emirates A380 take off again. Too bad that there's this heap of grass, sand, whatever it is, obscuring the field of view a little. Okay folks, last plane of the day. We saw it arrive a few hours ago and we're going to see it leave for Dubai in a few minutes. We also saw Max Verstappen's private jet, also another highlight of the day. So it has been a very windy but wonderful afternoon. Let me go ahead by saying already goodbye to you guys. Thanks to each and every one of you for tuning in again today for another live stream. You've been watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. If you liked what you saw, then be sure to subscribe and click the bell icon so that whenever I go live in the future you receive heads up and can join us once again if you're feeling like it or have the time for it. I'm looking to go out again on Thursday, King's Day. Martin says that friends of him are on this flight, so extra special for him. Now I hope I will be seeing you all again on Thursday when I'm looking to go live again. I don't know yet what time I will go live, to which runway I will go to. It's always very much weather dependent, but as soon as I know I will announce the live stream on YouTube and you'll get notified if you have subscribed and hit the bell icon. Now, looking behind me, there is inbound traffic on short final. So I think that the A380 will have to wait. Let me quickly turn around the camera, because this airplane first has to land and has to clear the runway before the Emirates A380 is going to get the clearance to take off. Another KLM Embraer. There he goes, spooling up. Gust of wind. Again. Same left-hand turn as the A330 from Turkish was taking. The airplane took off to the south, so it's now turning around to the east. Probably heading out to Germany first, and then on its way back. It's 6.5 hour flight back to Dubai. The flying apartment building, the King, the Emirates A380, today in the standard Emirates livery. We've seen them come, we've seen them go. It's been a wonderful afternoon, and I am going to end it here. Once again, thank you all for joining me. Hope to see you all soon. Take care for now. Be well and see you soon. Bye bye.